Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we have another offseason rebuild, and today we have the New York Knicks. 47-35 was the record for New York this past season. That was good enough for the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers pretty impressively, I will say. They kicked the shit out of them in round 1 of this past year's playoffs before they matched up with Miami in round 2, lost in 6 games. Now, there was definitely some problems in that series, but I think as Julius Randle said best, it looks like they just wanted it more, man, and they truly did. And I think that was pretty evident on the court. Ultimately, our goal today is to make some changes to this roster, hopefully get the right players in the right place, and get this team a championship. So you guys are seeing this one on Tuesday the 23rd, and I just want to let you guys know right now, I'm actually recording it on Tuesday the 16th, an entire week prior to when you're actually seeing this. So if anything crazy happens at any point throughout the NBA, especially to the Knicks, I'm sorry I couldn't get to it. I'm pre-recording videos right now because I'm going to be gone for a work trip all of next week. So just wanted to let you guys know that if anything happens, I do apologize. I'll get to it after next week. But yeah, man, we know what this New York Knicks team is. Obviously, they're still probably a couple moves away from being one of those true top-tier contenders. I think we can do that today. Let's get into it. So obviously, it was not a great end to the season for the New York Knicks, but it was a really impressive season. I don't think many people had them going into the second round of the playoffs. I really didn't, just to be completely honest with you. Also, I will say, I think myself included and everybody else owes a huge apology to Jalen Brunson because nobody thought that was a good contract when the New York Knicks did that. And yeah, he worked out to be their best player this year. So tremendous signing. He's not going anywhere throughout this video. Very high chance. Let's get into this roster. We obviously just touched on Jalen Brunson. Also, I believe one of the really good things about his contract, I believe it's front-loaded, so it actually goes down in annual value per year, which is great. Obviously, you want to have more money available. And Jalen Brunson has given us the ability to do that. We have Derrick Rose. At this point in Derrick Rose's career, he's kind of just a locker room guy. Didn't play really in the playoffs at all in important time anyways. And, yeah, man, he's 34 years old. So probably won't be bringing him back. I love D. Rose. I think it's time to move on. I don't know what direction he'll go in the future. I'm talking about real life now. I'll be interested to see, though. We have Miles McBride, who's 22. He definitely could be a decent backup point guard option for me. I don't have plans of just not letting him play, so I'm going to attempt to let him play behind Jalen Brunson, and we'll see what happens from there. The shooting guard spot's an interesting one for me. Obviously, Emmanuel Quickley was a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year. I believe he ended up coming in second just behind Malcolm Brogdon. And, yeah, he's 24 years old. He's an 85 overall. There's a possibility we could start him today. I don't necessarily think Quentin Grimes is all that. I don't think he's terrible. But if I have an 85 overall that could potentially keep progressing, I might start him. I mean, this isn't real life. It's not as important. And then Evan Fournier, who is just a horrible signing. He's out of the rotation. Dude just sucks. I mean, I'm very, very happy looking back on it that my Celtics did not re-sign him, especially that deal. RJ Barrett has some really hot moments and some really cold moments. I thought he was really decent for maybe the majority of that Miami series. Didn't look great against the Cavs, but honestly, he's 23. He'll still progress. We're TBD on that. Josh Hart, I believe, will end up being a free agent. I think he has a player option this offseason. I'd like to get him back, of course, depending how much money he asked for. Then DeQuan Jeffries probably will not ever get in the rotation. Power forward spot. I know this is a huge question mark going into this actual offseason for a lot of New York Knicks fans. Julius Randle, to be honest with you, just didn't look like he wanted to be there playing against the Miami Heat, man. And it's tricky in the middle of a series saying that they wanted it more. That's not a good comment to make. And I don't know, man. I think the bad thing about this is that now you're in a tricky spot because obviously you just had one of your best seasons in a very, very long time, but you have to move a huge piece potentially in Julius Randle. And I don't know. I mean, the rumors are out there maybe that them and the Timberwolves will do a swap with Karl-Anthony Towns and Randle. I don't know. I don't love it. Obi Toppin and then Isaiah Roby. I like Obi Toppin. We'll see if we can progress him a little bit, have him come off the bench. Center spot. Mitchell Robinson was an absolute X factor in that series against the Cavs. The Cleveland Cavaliers have basically 2 7-footers in their starting lineup with Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, and Mitchell Robinson did a tremendous job against both of them. I thought he didn't really show that same kind of dominance against the Miami Heat, which is weird because Bam Adebayo is obviously their center. He's a really good center. But other than that, they don't have that size that Cleveland does. So I thought Mitchell Robinson would have a big series. Wasn't terrible in any way, shape, or form. I'm not expecting Mitchell Robinson to come out and put down 20 and 10 or anything, but I thought it'd be more of a factor. I didn't see it. I was a little disappointed. Isaiah Hartenstein, however the hell you pronounce it, and then we got Jericho Sims, who is interesting. So, I mean, we have some options. We definitely have some flexibility with this team. We'll see what happens. Also, I know at this point we'll be well past the draft lottery, but I'm recording this in the middle of the day on Tuesday the 16th. I don't know what happens with the lottery at this point. Let's go ahead and simulate it, see what ends up happening. We are going to have that Dallas pick. So it falls outside the top 10. It's right there at 11. That's actually pretty decent for me. I don't mind that. And then staff signing. Tibbs is an interesting one. What was it? What game? Was it game 5 that Quentin Grimes and Jalen Brunson both played 48 minutes? I don't know how sustainable that is. Obviously, Tibbs is known as a guy who plays, a lot of his rotational pieces and good players a whole lot of minutes. He did it pretty much throughout his entire career. I'm going to give him the nod for now, but he's not 100% going to be my guy for the remainder of this video. I don't think he's in like the worst tier of head coach. He's not in the top tier. He's just there. He's just kind of a guy like that. All right, so we know what we have. We have the 11th overall pick from the Dallas Mavericks, which is obviously cool. Anytime you can get a draft pick, I think that dates all the way back to the Kristaps Porzingis trade, which is great. And I think that pick's also a really big reason why Dallas ended up tanking this year. I have no idea where it went in real life at this point, but you guys obviously do. So we have some options. There's some potential things we could do in terms of maybe drafting a backup. There's not a defined position on this team that 100% needs a better backup. So I don't know exactly what I want to do. I'll either see you guys in the draft or with a trade. We're going to do this deal with the Chicago Bulls. We're going to send them Evan Fournier in pick number 11. We're going to be getting an unprotected Portland Trailblazers pick and an unprotected Bulls pick in next year's draft. Ultimately, there was really nobody of need at 11 that was going to come in, make a huge impact into the rotation. And obviously getting off Evan Fournier's contract is really nice. So 2 unprotected picks could be valuable in next year's draft. We'll figure it out from there. If we take a look at team player options here, I don't know. I'll bring him back. I want to make it clear, this is not a realistic rebuild. I'm pretty sure you all know that at this point in time. But I'll bring Derrick Rose back. I'll try to find him somewhere good to play or ride out his career, whatever may happen. Assuming the Knicks will 99% chance probably decline that $15 million player option heading into this offseason. We have 0 qualifying offers. So again, the majority of this team is going to be coming back, barring a really, really major trade. I don't think Dwayne Washington Jr. is going to be somebody I need to retain. So here's a bare bones look at this roster right now. There's obviously some upgrades we can make in places. Was that a player option Josh Hart accepted? No, it was a team option. I don't know why I thought it was a player option. Huh. Maybe I'm just losing it. I could have sworn. Okay, but obviously he's coming back. We have RJ Barrett here as well. I mean, the majority, again, of this core is entirely back. So if there's a move to make with Julius Randle, I could consider it, but he had a really, really good regular season last year. It would have to be a really enticing trade. So whatever does come next, I'll obviously show you guys. I'm doing this trade with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and before you jump down my throat and say that Evan Mobley's, 3 overalls lower than Julius Randle, and you can see we're giving up the draft pick, I'm doing this trade because Evan Mobley is somebody who progresses very, very quickly. He wins depoys throughout some of these videos sometimes. He's typically in the low 90 overalls by the time these video ends. And honestly, I think he's an absolute stud. So he's a little bit of a different type of player than what Julius Randle is. But honestly, if I'm thinking 3 years down the line, who would I rather have, Evan Mobley or Julius Randle? I'm sorry, I'm taking Mobley 10 times out of 10. Now, I will say I'm going to try to maybe get this done without giving up that pretty valuable pick, I'd say. They can't afford Jericho Sims, which is a little bit unfortunate. So how about my first round pick next year? You interested in that? And then I'll also give you my first in 2025. Son of a bitch. This is all for a potential pick that could be good. I'm going to be really pissed if this Portland pick ends up being really high, but I'm not going to give up 3 first instead of just 1. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make this trade here with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't want to give up that Portland pick, but I will. Actually, if I just go back to the Cavs, I'm just curious, what would they want for that Trailblazers pick? I hate swaps. I would consider this. I hate this. The swap thing always pisses me off. This is the one I'd consider. And I'm considering this because I think now that we've acquired Evan Mobley, I really don't think Obi Toppin's going to be as important to the fundamental success of this video. So, you know what? I'm going to take this deal. If Portland ends up being just really, really good next year, I'm going to be... Oh, never mind. I'm not doing this. They drafted Victor Wembanyama. Nope, not doing that. Okay, that makes me a lot more comfortable. I should have checked that out before. Okay, so Obi Toppin will stay, which means Isaiah Roby, Dean Wade, who we just acquired from Cleveland, are obviously expendable. I think also at this point, I'm fine with Hartenstein being the backup here to Mitchell Robinson, so Sims can probably go as well. And then obviously we'll find a Derrick Rose trade. We're going to send Derrick Rose to the Lakers. He's going to play with LeBron. I mean, there are worse places than Los Angeles to be sitting on a bench. I mean... End of the day, there was maybe another valuable draft pick I could have gotten, but I want to do right by D Rose. He's one of the more entertaining players I've ever watched, especially in my young teenage years. All right, other than that, I stand by what I said. I think Isaiah Roby, Dean Wade are probably all guys that can just go, and then we're going to kind of run with the team we have. Thank you very much, Charlotte. That was a top 3 protected draft pick. Jericho Sims does have another year. I mean, it's not like he's just some guy I have to get rid of, but... I don't know. He has a team option, so maybe I'll keep him, and he just probably won't get any minutes. Hartenstein is a free agent after next year, but Dean Wade's definitely going to go. I don't need him. So we'll hold on to him for a minute. In terms of Dean Wade, I will send him, I don't know. I'll send him to Brooklyn. No, those Phoenix picks aren't going to be valuable. I know I'm taking way too long to do something really, really simple. I'm just trying to find something of value. That Clippers pick could be valuable. All right, so we have 11 guys going into next year. Obviously, we're only going to play 10 of them with Sims probably not getting a ton of minutes. If he didn't have that team option, he was definitely gone. But he did it. This is a terrifying defensive front court. I like the way this team's looking a lot. See you guys at the start of year 1 with the rotation. It is officially the start of year 1 here in New York. We had a pretty decently busy offseason. We made a huge trade, trading Julius Randle for Evan Mobley, and honestly, I'm pretty happy I did it. Evan Mobley's up to a 91 overall, and he's still under team control. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Here's how the rotation is going to look. You have Jalen Brunson as our starting point guard. No surprise there. I'm starting quickly. I'm going to do it. I know he was a candidate for 6th man of the year last year, and I know there was also some games he did start last year. He also played starting minutes for the majority of the year, I believe, anyways. I mean, hell, he played what? What did he play last year? I mean, he averaged 28.5 minutes a game last year, so... I don't know. I'm going to roll with it. He's going to be my guy. That's just how it's going to be. RJ Barrett's going to be starting at the 3 for me, followed by Evan Mobley, and then Mitchell Robinson, as I mentioned earlier. Just a tremendously scary defensive front court. The bench unit is going to be led by Quentin Grimes, followed by Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein, Obi Toppin, and then Miles McBride will get some minutes backing up Jalen Brunson. It sucks to have Sims here not really having a position on this team. Again, if he didn't have that team option, he definitely would have been moved, but I'm comfortable having him as my 11th guy as of now. So this is the team. I think we should be a playoff team here in the East, hopefully top 4, and I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. 56-26 is how we wrap up year 1 here in New York. I'm assuming that was definitely good enough for our goal of a top 4 spot here in the Eastern Conference. You have Nikola Jokic winning his 3rd career MVP, average a triple-double. Dude is just on another level. Victor Wembanyama wins Rookie of the Year for the Portland Trailblazers. I'm assuming he went number 1 overall. He did. And, yeah, I'm assuming they probably may not have been a playoff team, but I'm happy we didn't give up what we were going to give up for that pick. Jordan Poole's 6th man of the year in Golden State. He can do it in the regular season, I see. Giannis wins Depoy. Zion Williamson most improved. Interesting. And then Quinn Snyder takes home coach of the year for the Atlanta Hawks. So, full standings right now. We finish as the 3 seed here in the East. We are going to be taking on Indiana in round 1. It's not a terrible draw for the first round. I honestly don't hate it. In terms of points per game, it was Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Mobley, Mitchell Robinson, Hart. Beautiful. I mean, everything looks really solid to me. Everybody's doing what we intended them doing. Okay, we have Indiana here in round 1, as I mentioned. Halliburton, Ben Mathurin, Heel. They added Kristaps Porzingis, Miles Turner, Kelly Olynyk off the bench. You got Chris Duarte still there. All right. Well, let's see what ends up happening. We're 1-1 right now. We go up 2-1, up 3-1. We close them out in 5. Very nice. New York versus Boston, a rivalry as old as time. Obviously, it's a little bit more in baseball than it is basketball, but still, always fun to see these two cities go at it. And you got a very good Celtics team here. I'm hoping we can pull the upset. I don't say that lightly, and we're down 3-0, and we get swept out of our own building. All right, well, that's not an ideal way to end year 2. Second straight exit in round 2, but it's okay. It's a building year. Pelicans go on to win it all, and most improved player, Zion Williamson, Finals MVP. Look what happens when you play with injuries off. All right, it is time for the draft lottery. I believe we still have that Bulls pick. I don't know if it'll be in the lottery. I think I saw, yep, it's going to be top 3. We have a Detroit Pistons pick as well. And we end up with the 5th overall selection. The Spurs have back-to-back, one of them from the Charlotte Hornets. And we also have the 12th overall selection from the Detroit Pistons. So we have some options, some potential flexibility. I'm going to give Tibbs one more year. If we underachieve, in my opinion, I'm going to probably look to move on, find somebody new. But he's fine as of now. But 5, 12, 27, 12, and then 20. We definitely have some potential options with this team. For what exactly, I'm not 100% sure, but we'll find something. I'd love to try to add Brandon Ingram to this team. I think he's a clear-cut upgrade over RJ Barrett. I don't think Barrett's going to get to the level that Ingram is at right now, at least in this game. So we're going to try to work something out. I'd like to not give up number 5 if possible. I mean, worst comes to worst, I will, but I tried to give up every other draft pick we have this year, and maybe even a few future ones, to go out and try to get Ingram. So I didn't think they were going to take that. It's probably going to take, I'll give you my first-round pick unprotected next year. And then, wow, I see we have the Charlotte pick next year as well. I don't think the Lakers will, what does the Lakers roster look like right now? Before I give up this pick for nothing, not nothing, but you know what I mean. Well, they might actually not be that. They'll probably be good, but just in case, I'll give up my 2026 first. How about that? Son of a bitch. 2027 first. Seriously? All right. I'm going to take out all of these. I'll probably have to throw a couple back in, but I'll give up the 5th overall pick as well. And then what? What is it going to take? I'll give you my firsts in 2025. They agree to that. All right. I didn't want to give up the 5th overall pick. I was a little hesitant to, but we had a guy in Brandon Ingram who, again, as I mentioned, is better than RJ Barrett. And I think he could be one of the final pieces here for me. In terms of other draft picks this year, we still have 27, 12, and 20 in round 2. I wouldn't mind maybe trying to see who's available for me here at this pick at 27. Kwame Evans. You see, I'm thinking potentially, like, I don't really know. There's not like a clear-cut need for a backup anywhere, but you know what? I'll just take Kwame Evans. He's 18 years old. I don't know. It's a pick. He's a 73 overall. He'll probably never play, but he could be a draft piece at some point. So I'm going to bring back everybody, including Jericho Sims. Potentially could be a a trade piece for me. I'll qualify Miles McBride, Obi Toppin, and Emmanuel Quickly, who's been great for us. I definitely want to get him back. And then let's take a look at free agency. So Quickly's going to be restricted. He's obviously going to want a lot of money. Josh Hart's unrestricted. I would like to get him back. I see we actually have some money to play with here. Not that there's any, like, real free agent here that we want to get. Like, besides Kawhi Leonard, in terms of guys that we could realistically get, it's like Sabonis. And I don't really know if I want to go after Domantas Sabonis. I would have to clear up even more cap space. And I'd probably have to let, Hart and Toppin go. So we're going to try to get these guys back. I'll wait and just not renounce any of them. Miles McBride's also a free agent for me. Derrick Rose is a trade exception. But, yeah, we got Josh Hart back, which was super important. And I'll give Hartenstein and Quickly both real contracts now. So that's a decent chunk of change for Emmanuel Quickly, but I'm willing to pay it. Obi Toppin, just under $10.5 million a year. And we're going to, get them all back. Okay, cool. So at this point in time, we obviously have to worry about Miles McBride. He is a free agent. He's qualified. And then Hartenstein is a free agent here. Do I want to bring him back? I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think he's a decent backup big man for me. I wouldn't mind, reacquiring him. And then Jericho Sims probably on the cusp of getting traded. So at this point in time, we do not have a backup point guard. I fully understand that. I think what I'm going to probably try to do, if I look for Miles McBride, I don't think it's going to let me re-sign him right now. Probably enough. McBride. No, it's not going to let me sign him right now, so he'll have to accept his qualifying offer. So what I'm going to do is let him accept his qualifying, and then I'm going to probably pair him with Jericho Sims, try to find a real upgrade at the backup point guard spot. We're going to try to acquire Chris Dunn here from the Chicago Bulls. Obviously, he's a more of a defensive-oriented point guard, and I think he'd be a pretty solid backup here for Jalen Brunson. So I'm offering Miles McBride and Jericho Sims. Obviously, Sims is just out of our rotation. Miles McBride is not a bad player by any means, but I think it's time for an upgrade, especially if we're serious about trying to win a championship. So, honestly, we have a lot of picks. I'm not terribly worried about giving up any of these. I'll try to do it with just seconds at first and see if that's a possibility. I'd probably doubt it. And wow, they agree with that. All right, so at this point in time, we're going to set the rotation. I'll see you guys with it. We made another major trade, this time acquiring Brandon Ingram. He's going to come in and be my new starting small forward. Honestly, I'm really liking the way this team is coming together. I think we're in a really good spot right now, and I really do think this team can be an actual contender here in the East. Here's how it's going to look. It's Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickly, Brandon Ingram, Evan Mobley, and Mitchell Robinson. The bench unit's going to be Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart, Chris Dunn, Zay Hartenstein, and Obi Toppin. It's a really good bench. It's a really good starting five. See if we can go out and win the damn thing. We finished our second season with a record of 60-22. I'm feeling pretty good right now, and hopefully this can translate to the postseason. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is your MVP, just an incredible talent in Oklahoma City, definitely deserving of the award. Isaiah Collier wins Rookie of the Year for San Antonio. He went number 1 overall. Eamon Thompson, 6th Man of the Year. Victor Wembanyama wins Defensive Player of the Year. Isaiah Stewart, Most Improved. And Tibbs, Coach of the Year. All right, let's hope you have a good playoff run because your job is not safe. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's take a look at the numbers on the year, see how things kind of shook up. Brandon Ingram was just absolutely incredible for us. Looks like huge upgrade was needed, and it's a huge upgrade we got. I mean, here's just a look at, basically how everything kind of shook out. And also, why? Wait a minute. I started quickly. Well, that's not the rotation I had in mind, but I guess we'll adjust it here for the play. That's weird. I wonder. I've never seen 2K kind of do that for me. Sometimes, like typically, I have to auto adjust. Strange times here in 2K. Okay, well, I'm not gonna question it. I mean, 2K is 2K. 34, and then I want to do 32 there. All right, that's weird. I've never really seen that. But all right, who we have in round 1? It's going to be the Toronto Raptors here. It's Van Vliet, Bruce Brown, Scotty. See, I mean, there's just no way. No way this team's touching us with a 10-foot pole. We sweep them, moving on to Cleveland. Our old friend Julius Randle is here. Obviously, I'm pretty happy with the trade. I'm sure they're pretty happy with it. He's been playing pretty well for them, but end of the day, I'm still taking Evan Mobley over him at this point in time in 2K. All right, let's see what ends up happening. We lose game 1. We win game 2. We go down 2-1, back to 2-2, down 3-2. We're going to game 7, and we win game 7. And we have a rematch with the team that beat us last year in the Boston Celtics, who have added Keegan Murray somehow. Jesus Christ, that's exactly what this team needs, is another three-point shooter. Good God. Well, this Celtics team scares me, and obviously for good reason, as we're 2-2 right now. We go up 3-2, and we win in 6. We lost the first 2 games on our home floor, and then win 4 straight. Awesome. We're going to be taking on Alperen Şengün and the Houston Rockets here in the NBA Finals. See what their team's looking like. They drafted Scoot Henderson. They have Jalen Green, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jabari Smith Jr. What? Oh, good God. And how does Kyrie not win 6th Man of the Year? Well, I don't know. That's still crazy to me, having Kyrie Irving coming off the bench. All right, let's see if we can beat Houston here. We're up 3-0 right now, and we sweep the Houston Rockets. And Evan Mobley Finals MVP. Hey, man, some of you might be questioning the trade I made with Julius Randle and Evan Mobley. I think it's safe to say that it worked out. And, yeah, wow. Okay, championship in year 2. I'm excited. Draft lottery time. It doesn't look like we have any lottery picks. It's honestly fine by me. It's going to be the Heat, the Hawks, the Spurs, the Wizards, and the Thunder. In terms of staff signing, Tibbs just won us a championship. I'm going to bring him back. Where is he? Please don't tell me he retired. Did he retire? Nope. So he's still here. I just can't find him. 2K makes it way too goddamn hard to re-sign your head coach. I don't know why it's such a challenge for me to go to find Tom Thibodeau right now. Seriously? Like, why do I have to go that far down the list to find the guy that was just my head coach? Gotta love it. All right, up to the draft. In terms of our draft picks we do have this year, we have 16 and 17. I don't need these, I don't think. We'll just take future assets. Maybe we trade them, maybe we don't. I don't know. Brunson declines. He's definitely somebody I want to get back. We're going to be giving Quentin Grimes and Evan Mobley both qualifying offers. These are 2 very important pieces to my team here. We have hypothetical money if we wanted to go get Giannis, but if we did, we would have to probably renounce one of Ingram's a free agent too. Holy shit. Yeah, we're not going out and getting anybody. All right, I'm going to pay Jalen Brunson. I'm going to qualify Quentin Grimes, and I'm also going to pay Evan Mobley's free agent. I'm just going to qualify him too, and then I will pay Brandon Ingram after this. Wow. A lot of free agents this offseason. I'm very happy that 2K has the qualifying offer glitch today. So Grimes and Mobley will both be on their qualifying, which is huge. And then we actually do pay Brunson and we pay Ingram. So at this point in time, in terms of changes we can make to this team, I don't know. Maybe I'll upgrade our backup power forward. I mean, Obi Toppin has really just not been playing for me that much. So maybe we'll find a trade. I mean, if I throw him in there, Toppin, I'll do Kwame Evans. And I know we have a million draft picks we haven't necessarily needed, but can I just get like a... Xavier Tillman is not really a power forward, but he is 6'7". Jackson Hayes. Actually, I'm a huge Jackson Hayes fan. You know, we'll take Jackson Hayes. It's a trade's a trade. I don't know. I don't like leaving things the same year to year, so Jackson Hayes will be the new backup to Evan Mobley. But other than that, this team's looking beautiful. I'll see you guys at the start of the 3rd and final year. Fresh off a championship, we make no major changes to this team. There's nothing different in the starting lineup, but honestly, Why would there be? I mean, this team is just looking great. Everything's coming up in New York, and I want another championship. It's going to be Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickley, Brandon Ingram, Evan Mobley, and Mitchell Robinson. The bench unit is going to be Quentin Grimes, Chris Dunn, Josh Hart, Jackson Hayes, Isaiah Hartenstein. I think we have the talent to do it. Let's go see if we can. 70-12 is our final regular season record. Honestly, I'm hoping to go out on a high note and win another championship. We'll see if we can do it. Luka Doncic is your MVP. Bronny James, Rookie of the Year in New Orleans. He goes number 11 overall. I wonder if LeBron's also a Pelican. Oh, wait, no, I think LeBron retired. I saw the Lakers team. Amen Thompson, 6th Man of the Year. Victor Wembanyama, 2nd straight DPOY. Gregory Jackson Jr., Most Improved. Tibbs wins 2nd straight Coach of the Year. All right, let's take a full look at the standings right now. We are 15 games up on the Boston Celtics for the 1 seed here in the East, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder with 61 wins take the 1 spot there in the West. In terms of numbers, Ingram, Brunson, Mobley, Quickley, I mean, again, this team played very similarly last year, and we had a pretty good end result. So, hoping we can have the same thing this year. We have Cleveland in round 1. Whoa. They've lost Donovan Mitchell. They've lost Julius Randle, but they've added Giannis. That begs an interesting question in a hypothetical. If you had this Cleveland Cavaliers team, if you had Garland and you had Allen, and you had at some point, just hypothetically, Donovan Mitchell and Julius Randle, would you trade, or not trade, but would you give up Donovan Mitchell and Julius Randle for Giannis? Would you do that? For me, I think the answer is probably yes. I don't know if I'd love having Gary Harris and Terrence Davis start. I'd probably have Nick Smith Jr. in there. But for me, I think I'd probably do that because, I don't know, I like having like those 4 stars. Like I'd love having like Garland and obviously Donovan Mitchell and all those guys in there. But Giannis, he's Giannis. Come on. I don't know. It's an interesting hypothetical. Let me know down below in the comments section which way you guys would choose. We're up 2-1 on Cleveland right now. We go up 3-1, and we are into the second round once again. Orlando here in round 2. Taylor Horton-Tucker, Hauser Thompson, Wagner, Ben Carroll, Wendell Carter Jr. You have Lowry Markkanen not starting. I don't know. I mean, is there really a spot for him? I don't know. All right, we're up 2-1 right now. We go 2-2. We go up 3-2, and we're into the Eastern Conference Finals for the 2nd straight year, taking on the same team, a team that definitely scares me a little bit in the Celtics. I think we have an overall better team, though. I do. We're up 3-1 right now, and we are back in the NBA Finals. We're going to be taking on Luka Doncic and the rest of the Dallas Mavericks. Evan Mobley, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Here's a look at the Dallas Mavericks. Good God, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Good Lord. All right, well, I'm not going to doubt Luka's superpowers, but for the life of me, I don't know why the hell you guys are here. I'd like to get a little bit of gameplay and chat about the Knicks in real life. I know you guys, I know I do that quite a bit, but honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of these videos. So we're going to do it again as we're going to be sweeping the Dallas Mavericks out of their own building. I'll see you guys in there. Obviously, this game isn't as close as some of them have been that, I've had to like really lock it down and focus. So we can chat about the state of the New York Knicks right now. For me, this Knicks team isn't in a bad position whatsoever. There are teams out there that would probably kill to be where you are. You overachieved in terms of what many thought you would do this season. It's going to be interesting to see what route they decide to go with Julius Randle. To be honest, if there's any truth to that, Knicks and Timberwolves doing a swap with Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle, I don't really know. I don't love it. I don't, and let me explain to you why. I understand there's always, the argument that it's time for a change of scenery for some guys. Okay. And I fully agree. That could be the issue with both Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. But for me, I don't see a significant upgrade on either side. I really don't. I think, honestly, it feels like kind of a lateral move for me for both teams. Now, I'm not saying they're like similar play styles or anything, but in terms of the entire team getting, Jesus Christ, Jalen. In terms of the entire team getting better, I don't really see that happening if that was a move to be made. Never mind the fact of like what other assets either team would have to go up, because I don't really know who pays more in a trade like that. I really don't. I mean, I don't, because obviously neither of them are really playing at a level in the playoffs that you would kind of want them to, and I'm not saying either of them have just completely sucked. There were games that Randall definitely sucked. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns was really not in the playoffs. But for me, well, he was, but you know what I'm saying. For me, I just don't know. I don't think that's it. On top of the fact that Karl Anthony Towns has a really, really big contract. Now, I don't know if Julius Randle will request a trade because I don't know if you saw what everybody was kind of on his ass about after the game. He like kissed his wife. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Which is a crazy argument. Like, if you're getting pissed at somebody for kissing their wife after a basketball game, you really need to rethink your priorities. I mean, seriously? I get it. Guys can suck. You can be pissed at them. You can yap them on social media and do whatever you want. But getting pissy about somebody like kissing their wife after the game and then going through Madison Square Garden and like tearing down his poster and stomping on it, I mean, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. I understand frustration and I get it. It's, you know, an in the moment thing, but for me, that's just like a huge overreaction. It's like, you're kind of a loser if you do that, honestly. I don't know. Maybe some people disagree with me. Maybe that's your way to take out your frustration, but for me, I wouldn't be surprised if Julius Randle's like, get me up the hell out of here. And obviously, if he does actually request a trade, that puts the New York Knicks in a much worse bargaining position, because at that point you're you're bargaining from a position of weakness rather than strength. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think getting Josh Hart back is going to be big for them. Obviously, Quickly was injured this past postseason for a little bit of that Miami Heat series, but I think it's just another year of development. And honestly, you're going to have to make a decision at some point, because I've gone over this with basically every single team that actually, you know, wins a championship, or in teams that I think have kind of the core to win a championship, but I just don't know if they have that guy. In the NBA right now, I think I did the math. I think there's 6 guys that have been able to be the alpha on a championship team. Do you see anybody on the New York Knicks right now that can be an alpha on a championship team? I don't. I really don't. I think Jalen Brunson's been incredible. He has been probably the best free agency signing of last year so far, and I think I love his contract. He's been great. But is he number 1 on a championship team? I don't see that. I really don't. I definitely don't see Julius Randle doing it. So, some tough decisions are going to have to be made, unless you want to be kind of, you're not stuck in the middle. You're not in like the Chicago Bulls, Toronto Raptors land right now, where you're stuck in the middle of no man's land. You don't have an actual direction, but you're a little bit ahead of that. But you're not up there with teams that are actually competing year in and year out for championships. You're not. I hate to say it. You're not quite at that level yet. So that's just my take on it. Obviously, some very, very heavy decisions are going to have to be made. Some feelings are definitely going to get hurt this offseason in New York, and honestly, I think that had to happen. I really do. Because you faced a Miami Heat team that didn't have Tyler Hero, didn't have Victor Oladipo, and I thought you had a pretty good chance in the series. I really did. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know if I thought that playoff Jimmy was just going to take over, but, like, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But, again, it was a hell of a season for the New York Knicks. I'm not clowning on them whatsoever. They got a lot further than most teams did this year, and a lot further than most people expected them to. So I'll be interested to see what they do this offseason. This is a shitty free agency class, so there's not going to be anybody they really go after too hard. I would imagine, not that they really have the space to do that. And, yeah, it'll be a fun one. So, yeah, also, you guys are seeing this a week out from when I'm actually recording it. So at this point in time, we are well into the Eastern and Western Conference playoffs. I hope my Celtics are playing well. I don't know, obviously, at this point, because Game 1 isn't until Wednesday, Wednesday the 17th, but hope it's going well. I'll try to answer as many comments as possible this week. I'm on a work trip, actually, in just a completely another state, so I'm not really going to be available too much for videos, but there will be a video every single day, Monday through Friday this week, and hopefully you guys are enjoying them. But other than that, that pretty much wraps this one up. We're going to basically kind of, oh shit, did not mean to do that. Pull it. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Quickly. That's a fast release. But yeah, we score 155 points and we sweep the Dallas Mavericks out of their own building. Obviously, it was a tremendous end to this video. Winning 2 championships under Tom Thibodeau is, you know, I should get an award for that, honestly. But no, we built a hell of a team. I hope New York Knicks fans are very happy with the moves we made. I think we made all the right moves. Ultimately led to a pretty fun result. So let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. Obviously, when I do get back, I want to see all your guys' ideas, because we have a very long summer ahead of us and a whole lot of videos to make, and I am definitely looking forward to it. I always love come, you know, NBA draft and free agency. We have all these videos to make, along with some new challenges. We're going to get back into those as well. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this one. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.